Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Joe Champaign.
And I'm Foran. Have you ever considered how Auburn's historic district gets its status? Or maybe why we haven't gotten to that Trader Joe's that everyone's begging for? Well, the City of Auburn's comp plan for 2030 addresses some of those concerns. Eagle Eye TV's Sydney Babb has more at the public meeting for the comp plan 2030.
Today I'm here outside the James Buston Meeting Center where members of Auburn's community can come to speak with city officials about the comp plan for 2030. The Comp Plan 2030 is a comprehensive plan for the City of Auburn. This is the second of 3 public meetings where community members have been invited to drop by and review proposed changes, as well as talk with city staff about any questions or comments they may have. City Development Leader Logan Kipp spoke on what the plan is and how it impacts the community.
The comp plan is really just a land use plan only. It looks at all those things. It looks at water, sewer, bike infrastructure, parks, public safety. It sort of glances at all those things and where the needs are, but it's really focused on how we're using the land, whether that be for areas that need to develop residentially, commercially, or left alone to kind of keep the character of a neighborhood. I think the philosophy from 2011 to now has not changed. In developing that original plan in 2011, there were 12 sort of policy, or I guess we'd call them like sky-high visions for that plan. A lot of them, if you read the 12 on the list, it's we want affordable housing, a diverse mix of housing. We want neighborhoods that are walkable, that are safe. We want access to clean water, natural spaces, all these things. I think if you read that list, it's pretty much going to be things that people are supportive now.
Of course, hearing from the community is something the city works hard to incorporate. Planning Director Justice Wahid Cotton describes their main goal, as well as what it looks like logistically.
I think, maintain and improve the quality of life of all the residents and the stakeholders for the city of Auburn. And so, that's a very broad group, just because you have, one of the big drivers for here is obviously tourism. There's education, so people have interest from all over the state, all over the world, kind of come to Auburn, and then that has to meld here. Just kind of making sure that, we take care of the world-class amenities, that we keep attracting world-class businesses, and that delivers, like I said, the world-class quality of life that people have in Auburn, like the reason that people live here. And so, that's everything from the school districts, park accessibility, the games, the downtown Tumors Corner, all of that.
The final meeting for community members to attend will take place Wednesday, April 10th from 3 to 6 p.m. at the James Buston Meeting Center. I'm Sydney Babb for Eagle Eye TV.
Thank you, Sydney. With how hectic life can get, sometimes it's just nice to take a little break. Last week, UPC held Puzzle Palooza for students to enjoy a break while keeping good company. Eagle Eye's Brett Fouts has more from this event.
I'm here in the lobby of the Student Center where the UPC is hosting their Puzzle Palooza night, so let's go inside and take a look. The UPC hosted Puzzle Palooza as one of their Tiger Nights inside the lobby on the second floor of the Melton Student Center. The event encouraged students to come out and socialize while enjoying some food, drinks, and good old-fashioned jigsaw puzzles.
So tonight is Puzzle Palooza. It's one of our pop-ups, which are like the mini events that the Tiger Nights Committee on UPC does. So we just have a bunch of puzzles set up, and students can come and hang out and do a puzzle and get some food.
As they were attempting seen socializing, giving each other help with their own puzzles, and enjoying some irritable bow.
So we concourse every single week for all of our different events. So in Tiger Nights Committee, we have these really big events like Magnolia Ball, and then we also have smaller events that we call pop-ups. So tonight is one of those. We had bingo, we do puzzles, so we just really like to give students, like I said, another opportunity to come out and connect with each other after their classes.
For Eagle Eye TV, I'm Brett Fouts.
Thank you, Brett. When we come back, we will provide more on-campus news, followed by a national news update. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
The Office of Sustainability teamed up with Auburn Outdoors this week to put on a movie for students. The event took place at Pebble Hill, a historic antebellum cottage that has served Auburn University for generations. Attendees were treated to a relaxing night learning more about Earth's ecosystems through Dirt, the movie. not before filling up on popcorn, hot cocoa, and even a healthy helping of s'mores. We spoke with attendees and event organizers to learn more.
I mean, I definitely learned something. I learned a lot about dirt, obviously, and how important it is to our earth.
Well, I'm telling you, like, we almost always have popcorn in like the hot water for tea and cocoa, but having s'mores tonight took it to another whole level. Like, I think all future outdoor movies, if Auburn Outdoors is available to collaborate, we would love to have them be a collaborator with our future films.
ObFest is a student-organized music festival with a complete lineup of local bands. This year marks the 4th annual ObFest, where people from all over the community flock to Boggin on the Plains for a whole day of good music. During the festival, attendees could pay a visit to pop-up shops from independent artists, as well as dine on some grilled cheese sandwiches, courtesy of local band Mad Cow. When we come back, we'll provide a major national news update regarding the ongoing cleanup efforts of the bridge collapse in Maryland, along with the updates on a mass stabbing incident. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Crews in Baltimore have started working to remove the first piece of the Francis Scott Key Bridge from the water. The bridge collapsed last week when a 213 million pound cargo vessel slammed into it, killing 6 construction workers. The bodies of 4 victims have yet to be recovered, with dangerous conditions underwater slowing down the search process. CNN's Reed Binion has the latest developments.
This is going to be a long road. It's a very complex operation.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore laying bare the massive scope of the work still ahead following the Baltimore bridge collapse.
We have a ship that is nearly the size of the Eiffel Tower that is now stuck within the channel that has the Key Bridge sitting on top of it.
Crews this weekend working on the north section of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, cutting it up in sections for removal in order to open a temporary restricted channel which would allow more vessels into the area to accelerate the recovery effort. The largest crane on the East Coast, the Chesapeake 1000, arrived Friday to help in that process. Clearing the channel would allow the search for the missing victims to continue.
Everyone's priority remains to locate the missing loved ones and get them to their families. And we want to do everything in our part in the Army Corps of Engineers to play a role in the governor's #1 priority.
Crews have also secured part of an underwater natural gas pipeline, isolating a section and intentionally releasing gas from it as a protective safety measure. Removing the debris is the first step in a long process toward opening the Port of Baltimore, a cargo channel critical to the local and national economies. In the meantime, ships are being rerouted to other ports. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Reed Binion in Maryland, thank you. Police in Rockford, Illinois have identified a suspect in a stabbing spree that left 4 people dead Wednesday. Police arrested 22-year-old Christian Soto Thursday, but authorities are still trying to determine what led up to the horrific stabbing spree. CNN's Jen Sullivan looks at what authorities are saying about the chilling case.
The community of Rockford, Illinois, shaken by a stabbing spree Wednesday afternoon that left 4 people dead and 7 others injured. The horrific attack taking place across multiple areas of the northern Illinois city.
The trauma of this magnitude impacts all of us.
The dead have been identified as Ramona Schubach, Jacob Schubach, 15-year-old Jenna Newcomb, whose mother told the Rockford mayor she died while protecting her sister and her friend, and Jay Larson, a longtime U.S. Postal Service worker who police say was stabbed multiple times.
Jay was doing what he loved, serving his community, delivering mail to customers that he has served for 25 years.
Police have identified the suspect as 22-year-old Christian Soto, who faces 11 charges, including 4 counts of first-degree murder. He appeared in court Thursday and was ordered to remain in custody.
There may be more charges, and I think there probably will be more charges at the time that we present this to the grand jury.
Police are unsure of a motive for the crimes. According to a criminal complaint read by Winnebago County State's Attorney Jay Hanley, Soto told investigators he believed drugs given to him were laced with an unknown narcotic, and he became paranoid.
Our community is hurting because of the senseless act of violence that took place.
Thursday afternoon, the community held a vigil for those who were killed.
For those who died, their lives have ended, but their light can never be extinguished.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Jen Sullivan in Illinois, thank you. When we return, Eagle Eye's Cohen Dalzell will give you an Auburn sports update, followed by an entertainment update with Morgan Sims. Stay tuned for more.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Cohen Dalzell here with a fun week in Auburn sports to recap, so let's get right to it. Auburn Equestrian capped off their season right in the SEC tournament last week by winning their 6th straight SEC title. The third-seeded Tigers started off the tournament against the second-seeded Georgia Bulldogs. The Tigers were led by their performance in reining and horsemanship as they defeated the Bulldogs 12-7 in the SEC tournament semifinal en route to the SEC title match. Auburn took all of the most outstanding performer honors as senior Isabella Tesmer won in horsemanship, graduate Ava Stearns won in flat, junior Sophie Steckbeck in fences, and sophomore Alexia Tordoff in horsemanship. In the title match on Saturday, Auburn took on the number 1 seed, Texas A&M. They defeated the Aggies 13-6 after a 7-3 lead post fences and reining. The Tigers took home 3 of the 4 most outstanding performing awards in this match as well. Alexia Tordoff won in reining, junior Mary Grace Seggers in flat, and Caroline Fredenberg won in horsemanship, earning SEC All-Championship honors as well. Equestrian picks back up for more postseason action later this month. Now on to some diamond sports. Auburn baseball had 4 games of action last week. They topped Jacksonville State 13-3 on Tuesday in Plainsman Park before heading on the road for a 3-game series against the 4th-ranked Texas A&M Aggies. The Tigers continued their struggles in SEC play as the Aggies swept them right back onto the plane home, winning all 3 games in the series. All 3 games were close, including a 12-inning thriller on Saturday, but Auburn could not pull through to grab their 2nd win in SEC play. Auburn trailed the entire game on Thursday in Game 1 as A&M closed them out for a 9-7 win. Same story on Friday for Game 2, as Auburn scored 4 runs in the 9th but fell 12-8. Game 3 was a back-and-forth masterpiece, which went 12 innings. Auburn trailed 9-8 in the top of the 9th, but Gavin Miller knocked one over the fence to send the game to extras. The 2 sides put up zeros on the board for a couple innings before the Aggies walked it off in the 12th. The Tigers play the UAB Blazers tomorrow in Birmingham before coming home for a 3-game weekend series against the Tennessee Volunteers at Plainsman Park. Softball also continued their season this week, playing a 3-game series against the 4th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers. The Tigers avoided the sweep on Sunday, taking on 1 of 3 against the Lady Vols. The Tigers had a tough time against Tennessee in the series opener, only managing 1 run on 4 hits while giving up 5 with 5 errors in the 5-1 loss. The same continued in Game 2 as Auburn scored 4 runs on 3 home runs, while Tennessee scored 8 on 11 hits and 7 errors. Auburn lost 8-4. The Tigers wrapped up the series on a high note, grabbing a 4-1 win. Maddie Penta struck out 7 in the win and only allowed the 1 Tennessee run. Softball is at home all week, facing Sanford on Wednesday and hosting the War Eagle Classic this weekend. The Classic includes double headers on both Friday and Saturday against Georgia Tech and Louisiana Tech. These will all be held at Jane B. Moore Field here in Auburn. That's all I've got for sports tonight. Tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. for Sports Night in Auburn right here on Eagle Eye TV for some more sports coverage. I'm Cohen Dalzell for Eagle Eye Sports, and you're watching Eagle Eye News at 6. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Morgan Sims here with your entertainment update. Happy April Fool's Day. I've been pranking people around the station all day long. Whether you think today's holiday is cheesy or not, today's Take a Look at This is no joke. An out-of-control spinning saw blade comes within feet of a shopper. and a team of tweens used macaroni and cheese to try and topple a world record. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
It may be time for April Foolin', but what nearly happened to a man in Oregon was absolutely no joke. That is a 4-foot-wide concrete saw blade that suddenly spun loose while in use at a nearby construction site and came ripping through this Eugene convenience store parking lot directly at customer Shane Remke. Exterior surveillance shows Remke seemingly unaware of the massive incoming blade, but an interior look shows him reacting along with store employees.
I don't think I would have survived being touched by that thing.
And all of a sudden we heard a loud bang, like it shook literally the whole store.
Officials say they are investigating the incident to figure out what happened. As for Remke, he's just happy he survived, even though this runaway blade cut it very close.
I mean, obviously it wasn't my time, but it's probably the closest I've ever experienced it.
An alleged New Mexico shoplifter had his getaway cut short, not by a blade on the attack, but by cops on horseback. Officers from Albuquerque PD's mounted unit responded to the theft call at a pharmacy and commanded the suspect to stop, but instead had to take their trio of trusty steeds into traffic to chase the fleeing man down. That there's how they do her down in old New Mexico. Finally, not to be outdone by these serial stunting STEM students we showed you last week, these Canadian kids made a cheesier choice for a wild world record attempt. Through local donations and a little help from Kraft Heinz Canada, this topple team of tweens have collected nearly 13,000 boxes of Kraft mac and cheese for a delicious and dumbfounding domino endeavor they're hoping will set a new world record. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
April is probably the busiest month for Auburn students. Class registration, finals, the list goes on. In your free time, if you even have any, it may be a good idea to escape to the magical world of Hollywood to get your mind off this stressful season. April is a warm-up for the big summer movie season. CNN's Rick Damigella has a preview of what's heading to screens this month.
Every day, I've prayed for a way to protect the weak.
Dev Patel pulls triple duty as writer, director, and star of Monkey Man. The action flick hits theaters April 5th.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
Writer-director Alex Garland brings his vision of what journalists covering a military conflict in the United States might look like in Civil War, arriving in theaters April 12th.
Dawn of the Dead is here.
George A. Romero's horror yarn is back in theaters and drive-ins for its 45th anniversary starting April 12th. A list of theaters showing Dawn of the Dead is available at dawn45.com.
If I'm to do this, I'll need my own team.
Guy Ritchie assembles a team of actors to portray a World War II Special Forces squad in The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. The battle begins April 19th.
For their first family vacation, the Forgers travel to the snow-covered land of Phrygia.
Anime series Spy Family brings its blend of family togetherness and international intrigue to the big screen in Spy Family Code White, landing in theaters April 19th.
If she could replicate Dad's invention, we could be onto something big, Ma.
The futuristic thriller Breathe, starring Mila Jovovich and Jennifer Hudson, heads to theaters and digital on April 26th.
You were incredible today.
Thank you.
I mean, it wasn't even like tennis.
April ends with the love triangle of challengers starring Zendaya. The match begins April 26th. Looking for my favorite seat in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
I'm Morgan Sims. This is your entertainment update. Now back to Joe and Allison.
Thank you, Morgan. Well, we're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm Joe Champaign.
And I'm Allison Foran. Thank you for watching, and War Eagle.